A lot of people publish a coloring book on Amazon KDP and then stop there. They upload the book, they hope it sells. And maybe it does, but most creators are missing something much bigger. Because a coloring book is not just a product. It can actually become the starting point of an entire digital asset system. One simple book can turn into an ebook, a lead magnet, a content topic, and even a small funnel. And the interesting part is that this can work even if you want to stay faceless. You don't need to show your face, you don't need a big audience, you just need to understand how the pieces connect. In this video, I'll show you how creators take something simple like a coloring book and turn it into a small publishing ecosystem that can generate multiple income streams. And if you want to study the frameworks and starter materials that help simplify this process, I've added some free resources in the description that can help you move faster. Most people treat publishing like a single event. They create one product, they upload it, and then they wait. But digital publishing rarely works like that, especially on platforms like Amazon. Because Amazon is full of books, thousands of them, sometimes hundreds, inside the same niche. So if someone only uploads one product and hopes the algorithm will magically promote it, they often become disappointed very quickly. Not because the idea was bad, but because the strategy was incomplete. What successful creators often do differently is this. They think in systems instead of single products. Instead of asking, how do I sell this one book? They ask a different question. How can this idea expand into multiple assets? That small shift changes the entire approach. A coloring book can become more than a coloring book. A topic can become more than a topic. And once you understand that, publishing becomes much more interesting. Especially if you are building faceless content around your niche. Because suddenly the product, the content, and the audience can start supporting each other. Imagine two creators who both publish a coloring book on Amazon. The first creator uploads the book and moves on. They might check the dashboard occasionally, maybe run a few ads, but the book stays mostly isolated. It exists on Amazon and that's it. Now imagine another creator who approaches the same book differently. They start thinking about the topic behind the book. What is the theme? Who enjoys this kind of content? What other formats could exist around the same idea? Instead of stopping after the book, they start expanding. They create a small ebook guide connected to the theme. They turn some of the ideas into short videos. They build simple educational content around the niche. Suddenly, the book is not alone anymore. It becomes part of a small ecosystem. Same effort, very different long-term outcome. Because one creator made a product, the other built a content engine around a topic. So here is the mindset shift. Stop thinking about publishing as one finished product. Start thinking about it as a chain of connected assets. One idea can lead to a book, an ebook, short-form content, a lead magnet, or a small digital funnel. This is where tools like AI actually become useful. Not because AI replaces creativity, but because AI helps you move faster. When you are expanding ideas, it can help you brainstorm variations, structure small ebooks, generate outlines, organize concepts. But the real strategy is not AI writes everything. The real strategy is you multiply a strong idea across formats. When that happens, each piece supports the others. Your book brings credibility, your content brings visibility, and your ebook can become a bridge between the two. That is when the system starts working together. If you look at many successful digital creators, you'll notice a similar pattern. They rarely rely on just one product. Instead, they build layers around the same concept. A topic becomes a video, a post, a guide, a downloadable resource, a product, and each layer strengthens the others. Publishing can work the same way. A coloring book niche can expand into an educational ebook, a printable collection, a themed series, a digital guide. Suddenly, you're not competing with thousands of random books. You're building a focused presence around a topic. That is also why creators often build small communities around their ideas. Inside my school community, for example, members study these frameworks step by step and see how simple publishing ideas can evolve into structured systems without becoming overly complicated. But even if you're just starting, the key idea is simple. One strong concept can create multiple assets. Let's simplify the system. Step 1. Start with a clear niche idea. This might be a coloring theme, a creative category, or a specific audience. The goal is clarity. Step 2. Turn that idea into your first product. That could be a coloring book, a guide, or a short ebook. You don't need something huge. You need something focused and useful. Step 3. Expand the idea into supporting content, short videos, simple educational posts, faceless content explaining the niche. This creates visibility. Step 4. Build small bridges between the assets. Your content can mention your book. Your ebook can introduce additional resources. Your product can lead people toward more material. Now the system looks like this. Idea to product to content to expansion. Instead of one isolated book, you now have multiple entry points. Once the system exists, scaling becomes much easier because you are no longer starting from zero every time. You are building around a theme that already works. That theme can expand into new books, additional ebooks, bundles, series, digital downloads. And if you're creating faceless content, the same topic can appear in many short videos. Each video can attract a slightly different audience. Each asset reinforces the others. That's where the real leverage appears. Not from chasing endless new ideas, but from developing the ideas that already show potential. Now maybe you're thinking, I've never published anything, or I'm not an expert. That's completely normal. But publishing today does not require perfection. You don't need a huge team. You don't need complicated tools. And you don't need to write massive books. A short, focused ebook can be extremely valuable if it solves a clear problem or organizes useful ideas. Clarity beats complexity almost every time. So instead of trying to build something huge immediately, simplify the process. Start with one niche, one idea, one useful asset. That's enough to begin. If you want to explore this process further, start with the free resources in the description. They'll show you the basic frameworks, templates, and examples that make it much easier to understand how these publishing systems fit together. And if you want a more structured environment with guided material, that's exactly why I built the school community. Inside, members get access to organized resources and a free starter course that walks through these ideas in a much more practical way. But the most important takeaway from this video is simple. Don't treat publishing like a single product. Treat it like a system of connected assets. Start with one idea, turn it into something useful, then expand it across formats. That's how simple publishing projects slowly grow into something much bigger.